So verse number 50, Siddhim prapto yata brahma tapnoti nibodhame samasyaneva kaunteya nishtanyānasya yapara. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in this way, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. So this is taken from Bhagavad-gita acronyms, the book written by Sivaguna Krishna Prabhu. Because when we read many verses, sometimes we lose what we learn. So always it is good to have a short recap. So this chapter 18 is having an acronym called SMILE. The purpose of Bhagavad-gita, what is the purpose of Bhagavad-gita? We are put into a material life which is called a struggle for existence, right? We are encountering a lot of problems in day-to-day life. There is tremendous amount of stress and we are always in a distressed condition. So why we are put into the struggle for existence? Because we have lost our relationship with God. How can we establish the relationship with God? There should be some means, right? We have to establish our relationship with God. What is the mean? So the Lord has mercifully given us scriptures, Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. By these three ways, we can re-establish our relationship with Lord. The first, before even the Sadhu, before the prayer comes to the Shastra. Because through Shastra, we know about God, then we approach a Guru, and through Guru we understand the Shastra properly. When we understand the scripture, what will happen to our life? The stressful life what we have in this material world, which Arjuna had in the beginning of the second chapter, when he listens a complete instruction from the Lord, then he begins to smile. Same way for our life also. All our illusions, all our problems, when we read Bhagavad-gita regularly, then we will come to this condition that we will smile, we will be happy. Susukam kartum avyayam. That is the purpose of Bhagavad-gita. So if we are really reading Bhagavad-gita and applying in our lives, we should be in this position that we should be able to smile in all adverse situations. Whatever our life will be, we should be able to smile. Otherwise, we have not read Bhagavad-gita or we have not applied Bhagavad-gita properly in our life. So there are three ways to approach Bhagavad-gita. First approach is those who are reading Bhagavad-gita. I know many people who are reading Bhagavad-gita. Even sometimes Christians, Muslims, sometimes philosophers, sometimes scientists, they also read Bhagavad-gita. Only reading Bhagavad-gita is having some auspicious result, but it will not yield the full result. Second way of approaching Bhagavad-gita is by applying the teachings of Bhagavad-gita. Then what happens? Your life gets transformed, or it is getting transformed when you are going to the second stage, applying the teachings of Bhagavad-gita in our life. The third stage is sharing the knowledge of Bhagavad-gita. That is what Srila Prabhupada did. He read Bhagavad-gita, he applied in his own life, he saw the wonderful result, then he shared the knowledge of Bhagavad-gita. So the third is what the Lord is more pleased with. In the following sloka, Krishna will tell at the end of this Bhagavad-gita, he says, there is a person who is very dear to me, who is sharing this knowledge to the devotees. And there will be no one more dear to them than him in future also. In future also, now also. Who will be very dear to the Lord? One who is sharing this Bhagavad-gita. So, reading Bhagavad-gita, applying Bhagavad-gita, sharing Bhagavad-gita. Of course, when you are sharing Bhagavad-gita, if you don't apply, you cannot share it, right? Because you will not be convinced also. So, sharing Bhagavad-gita with other people, it is very important aspect in our spiritual life, in Krishna consciousness. The more you share this knowledge, what happens to you? The more knowledge you receive. Like if you see a river, A lake is always stagnant, right? The water is stagnant. And it is always having a lot of this, lake will have this fungal and other formation because it is stagnant. But a river, if you see, it is always crystal clear. You see, the water is very clear. Why? Because it is constantly flowing. When it is flowing, the new water is coming. The same way, when we give this knowledge, spiritual knowledge, there is no end. It is not that I read 18th chapter, I know everything about Krishna. Prabhupada says even Krishna does not fully understand himself. So for the Lord, it is never for us we cannot be able to understand him fully. So the more you give the knowledge, what happens? The more knowledge you will receive. That is very important. That's why we have to share this knowledge of Bhagavad-gita to others. So this acronym you will see one by one. The first section is summary of Karma Yoga. So summary of Karma Yoga, Krishna basically this chapter is giving what it is giving? The whole summary of the Bhagavad-gita, right? Second chapter is the overview of Bhagavad-gita. 18th chapter is the summary of Bhagavad-gita. That's how it is being presented. Like when you are, even the teacher, anybody is giving a class, they always give an introduction part and the summary part, right? That's why Krishna systematically gives the introduction part, overview of Bhagavad-gita in chapter 2. Finally, once he given the whole instruction, then he is summarizing. Because Karma Yoga we already learnt where? Which chapter number we learnt? Karma Yoga, 3rd chapter. So he is giving the summary of that, whatever we learnt earlier in this first 18 verses. So there is a question from Arjuna, renunciation or tyaga, which is better? So Krishna is stressing, we should not renounce the work, but what we should renounce? The result of the work. So that is very important. Because this world is governed by one principle called the law of action and reaction. You all know the Newton's third law. What is Newton's third law? Every action has equal and opposite reaction. So that applies not only to objects, it also applies everything in our life. So every action we do in this world, it is having what it is having? It is having a reaction. So some people may come to a conclusion that whatever I do, there is going to be a reaction. So better I will not do any activity, I will sit idle. That's why Krishna is telling that is not a recommended process. You should act. But then how will you escape from the reaction? Krishna is telling you should act in a way without getting entangled into the results. Then what you will do with the result? The result you offer to me, that is Karma Yoga. The result you offer to the satisfaction of the Lord. Then there is no more reaction. So how you will escape the reaction? By acting for the pleasure of the Lord. Or when you are acting, you don't focus on the result. Even scientifically, or you can say psychologically, there is a fact that if you always calculate on the result, the activity which you do, you will not do properly. If you focus on the result and do, you cannot do it properly, psychologically also. But if you don't bother about the result, you can do it in a more efficient way. Because you are not bothered about the result. Like you see example, Srila Prabhupada went to America. He did not expect that there will be lot of followers, lot of temples. He did not expect the result and go to America. If he has expected the result, he may not, he will have a fear. Oh, whether people will come or not. But he had only one thing in his mind. He said, this is my spiritual master instruction. Whether people will come or not, it is not my problem. I want to satisfy my spiritual master, so I am doing. So any activity we do, we always think that I want to satisfy my spiritual master. No matter, maybe there is a good result or there may be a bad result. I am not bothered about the result. I only concentrate on the effort to satisfy. Then you can do it with more efficient way. So that is one part how Krishna is giving beautifully, that if you don't focus on the result, then you can do your work efficiently. But you cannot work without calculating the result. Because again our mind will not allow like that kind of mindset. So in that case you have to give the result to the Lord. So Lord, whatever you give, I will accept it. Like if you go into a temple, they give prasadam. Then we accept whatever. Sometimes the prasad sometimes may be good, sometimes it tastes bitter, but we will accept it, right? Because prasadam nobody throws. Prasadam they accept. Some temples they give even neem leaf. You know that neem leaf? For some goddess they offer neem leaf and they give. People will take neem leaf also. So like that, whatever result come, we should have a mentality, or we should develop a mentality that it is a prasadam from the Lord. The result. And it is for the pleasure of the Lord. In that way, if you work, then what will happen? You will work in a way, that is the art of working. You will work, but at the same time you will not be entangled into the reaction. So this is the art of working. Summary of Karma Yoga. And in our Krishna consciousness, how Prabhupada has simplified. Like whatever I explained now, it is not easy to apply in life. How you will work with offering the result? Can we do? Not easy. We can shake our head, that's all. We cannot apply. But Prabhupada made it simplified. How you can apply this practically? Because if you don't know to apply, what is the use of studying the theory? Correct or not? If you know the theory, you cannot apply it. You will not get any result. So Prabhupada made a system that you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you offer the food to the Lord. Because offering the food to the Lord itself is a Karma Yoga. Why? The main thing we are working is for our sustenance, for our life. And life is sustained by food. Basic thing is food. And you are working for your food. Because when you ask people why you are working, they say, it is for to fill my stomach. Right? So that food if you offer to the Lord, that itself is an indication, or it is an expression that you are offering your result to the Lord. So this is a beautiful way how you can implement Karma Yoga in your life. By adopting the principles of Krishna consciousness. Chanting Krishna's holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, offering food to the Lord, and slowly cultivating the mentality of satisfying Him. It does not come in one day. We always work for our satisfaction. So to cultivate that mindset may need more time. But this is the basic principle. You chant and you offer the food to the Lord. So that will help you to implement this Karma Yoga in your day-to-day life. Now, when we are executing this Karma Yoga, we go to the second section, we see still everybody is being influenced by the modes of nature, right? So that is being explained because we see, even though this is the ideal situation, people are not getting into this Karma Yoga because they are being influenced by these three modes of material nature. So Krishna is explaining in detail how these modes of nature is influencing. Again, the modes of nature also we studied in which chapter? 14th chapter. So again, Krishna is giving a summary of how these modes are affecting. What are the things? What are the things it is affecting? Like he is saying the determination, the happiness, the knowledge. What are the other things? Knowledge is there, and the happiness, determination. So many factors Krishna is telling how these things are actually influenced by the three modes of material nature. And even in Karma Yoga, if you see, why we are getting entangled? You know why we are getting entangled? Because we are thinking we are the doer. But actually we are not the only doer. Krishna is giving 5 factors are there in the doer, as a doer. Like the Paramatma, the senses, and the soul, the desire, and then one more, body. So these 5 factors are there. So if we think that we are the enjoyer, we are the controller, we are the doer, then we get entangled into this reaction. But we have a mindset that I am not only the doing, the material nature is doing, the Paramatma is sanctioning. With that mindset, then we are not getting entangled. So these 3 modes are like a remote control. It is operating us, right? It is like a remote control. Like the 3 modes are making us to act in a certain way, work in a certain way, speak in a certain way. All these things are influenced by 3 modes. Because these 3 modes are influencing heavily on the living conditioned soul, the conditioned soul is not able to perform with a proper Karma Yoga in a proper mindset. So Krishna is giving an explanation how these 3 gunas are working. Now, we need to work and we need to We need to work without getting any reaction, right? That is what Krishna is telling. But the modes of nature are influencing us. Then how you can work? Then Krishna is explaining how you can become an ideal worker in 41 to 55. First is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga you are not able to do properly because of the three modes of material nature. But you need to do Karma Yoga. How you can do? Whatever nature you got within yourself, you have acquired a nature. Based on the nature, you should work. For whom? For the satisfaction of the Lord. Then that work will not be affected by the three modes of material nature. Okay, you need to work, but your work is always affected by three modes of material nature. But if you want to escape from the three modes, then that work you do, that nature you engage in that for the satisfaction of the Lord. So Krishna is saying, what is that sloka? In the beginning of the chapter he is saying, Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhavasya. So according to the nature what we got, we enjoy that for the satisfaction. So there are four classes of people: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So often the atheists, or there are few section of people, even the Hindus, they criticize that Bhagavad-gita is speaking about caste system. But we have so many castes, correct? In Kerala or Tamil Nadu or in all over India, we have, Nambudri, we have Reddiyar, we have Shetiyar in Andhra, there is Mudaliyar, so many kind of. But this caste is never told by Krishna, correct? How many castes we have in Kerala? So many, right? How many, roughly? So many. In Tamil Nadu also so many is there. In Karnataka also is there. Karnataka also there, no? Shetty, and this one, Andhra there is Reddy. Like that. So many castes there. Where Krishna is talking about this caste? We should have, with some common sense, we should think. Krishna told only four: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and it is very scientific, right? Brahmana means intellectual people who will guide the society in spiritual life. And Kshatriya means one who will protect the country. And Vaishya means one who will do the trading for our food. And Shudra means one who will help the other three classes. So there is nothing wrong. And there is four classes of people are absolutely necessary for society. Without Brahmana, society cannot function. Imagine even in this Middle East, if these people, there are people who are preaching Quran, right? If they are not there, they are not preaching, and nobody is going to pray or nobody is going to go to mosque. Right? Because nobody is there to explain them. So this society, wherever in the world, there are people who preach about God, Brahmana. There are always, you see, all these boundaries are protected by Kshatriyas, the soldiers. Otherwise the neighboring country immediately attacks and your life is under threat. So Kshatriyas are all over the world. And there is always business people who are doing trading, agriculture, all these things for our sustenance. So Kshatriya, Vaishyas are always there. And always we see Shudras. There is saloon, there is laundry, there is people who are cleaning the road, right? All this, throughout the world, anywhere you go, you see these people who are cleaning the road, who are cleaning the sewage, who are cleaning. And it is never determined by one's own birth. It is only by our guna. Suppose we take a very good spiritual life, and if you fail, then Krishna is telling, next birth, even though you may be a Shudra in this birth, you are doing some kind of spiritual activity, next birth you will be promoted as a Brahmana. Because Arjuna is asking a question, what will happen to a person who is lost in the spiritual life? He is saying, I will put him in a pious family. That means some family which is spiritually inclined. So that we should understand these four varnas is not based on any birth. And these four varnas are absolutely essential for the functioning of the society. Imagine if there is no barber or there is no person who is cleaning the road. Do you think a doctor will go and clean the road? No, right? So if a society should need all these classes of people, you all agree, right? But what happened? Over a period of time, the society became, people started misusing this one. The Brahmanas taken, the control, telling that the Brahmanas are glorified in the scripture, so we are the ultimate controller. And they took that kind of bossism and they tried to control the other classes of people. Then the other classes of people immediately revolted, saying that we reject you. You are no more, we accept you as a good people. And they started, and there's a clash. And that is continuing still today. When you misuse the power, you will fall down. Because the Brahmanas misuse their power, the Kshatriyas stopped listening from the Brahmanas. When the Kshatriyas did not have any kind of advisory board, the Kshatriyas fell down. Then the Vaishyas also left their agriculture and their cow protection. They came to the city for doing business. City got polluted. And the Shudras also, they say that you will not, who are you are telling us Shudras? We also want to take the position of the Brahmanas. So like this there is a chaos. Now what we see is a perverted implementation of what was told by Krishna. That is called Devi Varnashram. Now what is this? Perverted Varnashram system. But now everybody is claiming by their birthright, even though there is no qualification. So this ideal worker, how he is working based on this karma, based on his guna and karma, he can also attain perfection if he is engaging according to his nature. Somebody, basically cooks very nicely, so he can cook for the Lord. Somebody is preaching good, he can preach for the Lord. So everything, if you engage in the service of the Lord, then you get perfection. Some siddhi, haridoshna. So this is explained in 41 to 55. So we saw what is a smile, right? Smile, summary of Karma Yoga, first section. Then it is influenced by modes of nature, yam, second part of this 18th chapter. Third is ideal worker, which is we are discussing about the ideal worker, the different varnas, how they can get perfection by engaging in their occupational duty. Then next what it comes? L. L is for love of God. When we do in this spirit, then we will achieve love of God. Because human life is meant for developing our love for God. Other animals or any other living entities cannot develop. You can see that we are sitting in this room, we are maybe attending program for some years. We definitely know when we are 2-3 years before, our attraction to God, and now it is increased. You all agree? Correct or not? Before we did not have this kind of interest or taste. But because we are following a certain process and we are doing certain sadhana every day, we can see that our love for the Lord is increasing. Even maybe it is 1% or 2%. It depends on how much we are putting efforts. But definitely there is a change. So eventually when we are progressing in this sadhana, then what will happen? You will come to a stage called, you will develop love for God. And that is the perfection of human life. There is no other goal for human. Humans does not have any second goal. Because one day your body will be thrown into a pit. What will be thrown is only, finally remaining is, what will remain is only skeleton, right? But we are talking about so many things, but only we will remain as a skeleton in the soil. So what is our achievement? Material achievement, finish. It will be all lost. The time will kill everything whatever we achieved. Everything it will kill. Sometimes, certain people are being glorified. We can see, sometimes if you see some TV channel or some people are glorified. And we think, oh, this person is glorified so much. But if you see after 1 week, nobody remembers him after that. Then the next person glorified or somebody else is getting, So whatever we do, achievement, our material achievement is taken away one day. But this will come with us. It will protect us. It will give us a happy life. So we have to always strive for developing our attachment and love for God. We should put every day some effort. So that kind of activities we should be engaged. Sometimes if you feel you are inspired to chant, you chant and develop love for God. Sometimes some people are inspired to read about God and develop attachment for Him. Then you read Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavatam. But some people may want to do some service and develop love for God. So anyway, whichever you feel comfortable, but ultimately you should achieve the result. What is the result? So what is the result you should get by the end of this life? You should develop your love for God. It is very important. Whatever religion you are. How you will achieve? That gradually we have to train our mind. Tame our mind and train our mind. Tame means to control the mind. So that will come, that is explained as in the, because see, ultimately Bhagavad-gita is progressing, 18th chapter the result should come, right? That's why Krishna is giving how this Manmanabhava, Madbhakto, all these verses are here in this chapter. The love of God is very much stressed in this 56 to 66. And what is the last word? What is the last word? E. He is the end result. After achieving the love of God, what you will do? You already achieved perfection. So you want to make others perfect now, right? Like Prabhupada already achieved the love of God. He was in Vrindavan, he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, doing devotional service. But what he did, he was not staying in Vrindavan after that. He went to America to give this knowledge, share this knowledge. So once you achieve this love of God, naturally you cannot sit idle after that. Now we can sit idle because maybe we have not achieved. But once you are any person, if he has achieved this love of God, naturally he will try to spread this knowledge. Even if you see Christianity, these 12 disciples of Jesus Christ, once they achieved some love for God, they all went all over the world, risking their lives. That's how Christianity spread all over the world, from the Middle East to outside. So once you achieve this, there will be end result. That is, you will start sharing this knowledge and you want others also to experience what you have experienced. So this is what Bhagavad-gita is all about. Smile. No? The human life is for smiling by connecting to the Lord. So summary of Karma Yoga: M for modes of nature, I for ideal worker, L for love of God, and E for end result. And end result, as we discussed in the beginning, Bhagavad-gita, you read Bhagavad-gita is one result, you apply Bhagavad-gita as a result, and you share the knowledge of Bhagavad-gita is the final result. Because Bhagavad-gita always has 3 stages: confidential, more confidential, and most confidential. Guhya, Guhyatara, and Guhyatama. So Bhagavad-gita is having 3 levels of realization. So this is also the final realization is that you should share this knowledge with others and uplift their lives also. So that is the end result of reading and applying this Bhagavad-gita. So today's sloka is very important, and it is saying about how we can achieve the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman. So this is talking basically about, this sloka is talking about which one? This is talking about Jnana Yogis. This sloka and the previous sloka, if you see, 49, Krishna is speaking about one who is self-controlled. Who is self-controlled? Normally the Jnanis are self-controlled and he is unattached. Previous sloka Prabhuji has taken this, Asimananda Prabhu. So one who is self-controlled, I am reading from previous sloka, translation. Self-controlled, unattached, and who disregards material enjoyment. So these 3 things can obtain by the practice of renunciation the highest perfectional stage of freedom from reaction. So there are 2 choices in front of us. One is material enjoyment or spiritual enlightenment. So Krishna is talking about spiritual enlightenment in the previous verse, which jnanis, they try to achieve this. Self-control is one aspect of spiritual enlightenment, and unattached, and he disregards material enjoyment. So our life is full of choices. They say life is a point between B and D, birth and death. B is for birth, D for death. In between what you have? C, right? In between B and D what you have? C. C means choices. So we are, whatever choice we make, if you want material enjoyment we can take it, but if you want spiritual enlightenment then we should select this one, you have to give up the other one. In that, what will be continuing is, now this sloka, Krishna is saying, how you now already learned from me how one who has achieved this perfection. How you achieved this perfection? Because of the previous sloka. This perfection what you achieved is from the previous sloka. What is previous sloka talking about? 3 things. 3 things, what are that? Self-controlled, disregarding, what is it? Disregarding material, disregarding material enjoyment. The third one, unattached to the, unattached to self-control, unattached, and who disregards material enjoyment. So thus people can achieve this. What is this? Siddhim prapto yata Brahma. They will understand about, start understanding about Brahma. Then Krishna is not stopping there. Who has achieved this can attain the supreme perfection stage. He is going to a next level. Because I said there are 3 levels in Bhagavad-gita. Guhya, Guhyatara, and Guhyatama. Confidential, more confidential, most confidential. So after achieving this perfection from the previous sloka, of applying that, then we can go attain the supreme perfectional stage of Brahman, Para-Brahman. By acting in this way, I shall now summarize. How? Next verse he will explain how you can achieve that supreme perfectional stage. Next verse if you say, Krishna is telling, being purified by his intelligence, controlling the mind with determination, giving up the objects of sense gratification, being free from attachment and hatred, one who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind and power, speech, who is always in trance, who is detached. If we read all this, definitely we know we cannot follow anything. No, it's very difficult. That's why we simply take the process of what? Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, rising early in the morning, doing the arati, offering the food. This is easy for us. If you read that next sloka, you don't know which one we can apply in our life. That's why Prabhupada made a practical way how you can implement the teachings of Bhagavad-gita. Okay, so Lord now commences to explain the process of a yogi, Anvitapata, Jnana Yoga. Such a person will gradually come from the perfection stage to the supreme perfection stage. So here, normally many people say in this world that no need to worship God. I have heard many times people say this. They say if you are good to the people, if you are good in your heart, good in your mind, that itself is enough. How many of you have heard why you are going to satsang? You be in your home, don't harm others. You be good and you be good to others. That is more than sufficient. No need to go and dance in a kirtan. Or no need to go. How many of you have heard from your friends? Raise your hand. See, many people will advise because they don't want to involve, and they will tell us, no, why we have to do all these things. If you are good with others, that itself is good for everybody. But only being good is only sattvic quality. It will not help us because God is above sattvic, right? Krishna is above sattvic. He is in Shuddha Sattva. So mere being good without God conscious. So you separate good from God, you separate from good. What happens? What is remaining? Only zero. So if you are only good, there is not much use. However you are good, definitely you will be selfish. When it comes to your family, you will do everything. You are a good person, but you will only give priority to your own family or your own relatives. You can see, check all this. Goodness means you are good. You will not harm others, but you will be selfish. Still you will be selfish because you will only round in a small circle. My family, my relatives. But becoming above this goodness means you are trying to become what? Selfless. Selfless means you see everybody as part and parcel of God. That quality will not be in the goodness. You understand what I am trying to tell? There is a two concept called selfishness and selflessness. When you say selfish, you are sometimes selfish, you are doing some service to the society and you are doing good. But that goodness will stop within your family and relatives. You can spend 1000 KD for your own family without thinking twice. But if you say 1000 KD you spend for other welfare, you will not do that. That time you will give only 10 KD. That is true. We have seen many people like that. When you want to donate, you will always think 4 or 5 times. But you are in goodness platform. But when you want for yourself, you can spend any amount of money. You have seen that like that? This is selfishness. So, only being good in this society will not help. And very soon from goodness you can fall down also. Like you see in our society, the Brahmanas were one time in Satoguna. Right? They were in Satoguna. How much time it took for them to fall down to Rajoguna? There are many Brahmanas who fell down now. Already fell down. They are in Rajoguna now. And if you are in Rajoguna, how much time it will take to fall down to Tamoguna? We are seeing now, there are many Brahmanas who are eating meat also. Because they came to Middle East. They came to Middle East. They tell, oh, Middle East means you have to live in Rome. When you are in Rome, you have to live like Romans. So in the Middle East, everybody is eating, so you have to be with them. You have to also eat. So there are people. So, where being good is not sufficient. Because still you will fall down or you will be selfish. So Krishna is talking about selflessness. You have to rise to that platform. It needs a lot of putting your efforts to come to this level. Understood? So Srila Prabhupada is saying, real goodness means to understand God. That is real goodness. And this is a very nice quote. We are all very much, many always have their cell phones like this. How many of you have like this? You always have, what is it? Power bank, right? So we should make sure that always our battery is having full charge. Night time we charge, daytime we charge, and when we travel we take this power bank. So we want to make sure that we always keep our mobile phone on full charge. Because if you don't charge, what will happen? Your phone will get switched off very soon. Our phones die every day. We die only once. So spiritual life is like this, our spiritual life. Only 10% remaining now. Charge your soul with prayer like you charge your phone. So very important. I like this image. Because our life, spiritual life, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't do. But it is same like our charging our phone. Every day we have to charge. If you don't charge spiritually, then you will be charged materially. Jai Shri Shri Radha Shamsundar Bhagwan ki Jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Pradesh Subhadra ki Jai, Shri Shri Narsimha Shri Shri Gauranitai ki Jai. So if you don't charge spiritually, you will be charged materially. So then when you are charged more materially, then your activities will be more, your thoughts will be material, your activities will be material. So we have to make sure our spiritual batteries don't become to this red signal. Okay, so we need to every day do our sadhana. In Krishna consciousness, we have the sadhana of chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, every day doing Mangala Arati. How you can lead a spiritual life in a material world? How you are in a material atmosphere, how you will get spiritual strength. Like if you see a crocodile cannot be strong on the land, but a crocodile can be strong in the water. Same way, you are in the material world. Material world is a kingdom of Maya. So Maya will be very strong naturally. So how you will become strong spiritually? There is one single formula, it is said. Very effective formula is, you have to get up early in the morning and do the Mangala Arati and chant your round. That is the only way by which you can always keep yourself, how? Spiritually strong. So that is the way. Otherwise, in this material world, it is very difficult to become spiritually strong. So that is the message what we have today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So you have any questions on today's discussion? So there is a small video, maybe 2 minutes video, if it is playing, you can see.
According to the Panchatantra, there are 3 types of persons. The one they call Kanishta, a person who does not begin an endeavor, fearful that he may fail. The second person is one who endeavors but turns back when obstacles and failure comes on his path. And Uttam, the first-class man, is the person who keeps his mind fixed on the goal and does not turn back till he achieves it.
So there are 3 kinds of people according to Panchatantra. One who is not starting the work. Why? Because he feels that he will fail. So he does not start. That is Kanishta. Second person, he starts the work, but when there is some obstacles, he will turn back. That is Madhyam. And the Uttam means he fixes on the goal until the last moment. So we are be like a person. We should fix our goal and we should never turn back after that until our end of our life. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.